Obviously, how we're thinking about race relations right now has been colored by Ferguson, the Garner case in New York, a growing awareness in the broader population of what I think many communities of color have understood for some time, and that is that there are specific instances, at least, where law enforcement doesn't feel as if it's being applied in a colorblind fashion.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know, what could I say? Joining us now, and by the way, reportedly the mayor of New York actually said that police must be respected. Now that's a common sense utterance that everybody should have in their head constantly. But to hear this man say the police must be respected, he didn't say teach your kids that. He didn't say tell your kids that. He just said it in general. Now he's the first of Holder, Obama, Sharpton, you know, and himself to actually have those words cross his lips. It must be very painful for him. Very painful. John Lott joins us, our friend, the founder and president of the Crime Prevention Research Center, author of More Guns, Less Crime. John, always great to talk to you, sir. Merry Christmas. You have a fascinating study that I saw on FoxNews.com, how blacks trust the police more than whites do. Explain that, because all the polls I'm seeing when it comes to Garner or Ferguson and Michael Brown, you know, it's the other way around.
Right. So it's great to talk to you again, Steve. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the polls, I mean, it seems pretty obvious. The polls indicate that blacks believe that they're discriminated against relative to whites with regard to the police. They say they view the police as less honest, less ethical, less willing to go and solve their cases. But if that's true, then what should happen to the rate that blacks report crimes to police? You would think it would be fairly low. I mean, if you really believe that the officers are racist, that, you know, you want to go and catch somebody who actually committed the crime. You don't want, if I'm a black citizen, I don't want to report a crime to the police and just have another black caught just because of his race. I want to have the guy who actually committed the crime. Or if I don't believe that the police are really going to try to solve my crime, why report them? I mean, it takes time and effort. You have to go through questioning. You have to fill out forms. It can take a lot of time to go and deal with the police on these matters. So you would think everything else equal, you would expect that blacks should be, if these polls are right, somewhat less willing to go and report violent crimes committed against them than other racial groups. But in fact, you find that over at least the years from 2008 to 2012, blacks were much more likely than any other racial group to report violent crimes to the police when they're committed against them. If you look at blacks and whites, blacks, 54% of the time that blacks had violent crimes committed against them, they reported them to the police, whereas it's about 45% for whites, and it was about 40% for Hispanics, for example.
Yeah, those are staggering statistics. They're very eye-opening, to say the least. You wrote another great piece. This one I saw in the New York Daily News about the dangerous distortions about cops shooting black men. Now, I want you to talk about it, but you can't tell me that the media, who puts this forth constantly, and the president and the attorney general, that they don't know exactly what you wrote, that this is nonsense. But go ahead, talk about the reality.
Right. Well, I mean, we could talk for a while about just the number of distortions that are out there, but one claim that particularly incensed me has been this claim that Sunday morning talk shows repeated. You see it in the New York Times, LA Times, many other places, and that's the claim that black teenagers between the ages of 15 and 19 are 21 times more likely to be shot by police and killed than white teenagers of the same age. And if it was true, that would be pretty outrageous, one would think. But the problem is that the data is completely useless. They're looking at there's 17,000 police departments in the United States. Only about 1% of the police departments report these numbers. And the thing is, that even that 1% isn't random. It's not kind of randomly picked between different police departments. They're overwhelmingly police departments in heavily black areas. And so you would imagine that you're going to get overrepresentation in terms of the sample there, in terms of blacks being killed. And
that is,
and if you,
John, we're out of time, but that's just, I know there's more to the story, but that is just insane, and it's part of the distortion that's out there to further an agenda. John, Merry Christmas. Always great talking to you. John Lott, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, New York State Senator Greg Ball. Don't go away.